All right, take two. Welcome to the Awakening Pilgrim. This is a vlog. My name is Mark and I'm giving daily updates on our project here. 5 years ago I decided to quit my job and come start a community in Mexico. That was a calling that I had based on a tool that we have as humans to connect with each other, and starting a community that allows us to get back to what is nature, what is natural, what is the best quality of life. So that is the purpose, and I hope to connect with you from the heart. Today my intention is to be totally authentic and to give you the raw deal of what's going on here in this project, the ups and the downs and the details that no one wants to talk about, but we don't have a problem with learning from our mistakes. So today is a day that brings out courage. It's a day that allows us to kind of tap into a power that allows us to stand up and be courageous and defend your beliefs, defend your, defend the principles that you live with. So it's a day to get up and basically be proud of the things that you believe in. And it doesn't last forever. I think this kind of inspiration, it reminds me of periods of times where we did have a lot of political uprising, and this is one of those days that those kind of events speak to. So if there's something calling in you today that's just kind of grinding your gears, if there's something on your nerves that has been going on and you just have had enough, today's a day that it's good to express that and let it off, let it go. Basically, get it out of your system and approach the cause, approach the source, and see if you can make a point in letting whoever it is or whatever it is know where your boundaries are. Stand by your beliefs and protect them. It's a really strong part of the character development of being human and being able to tap into a power that allows us to get motivated, allows us to take action, because it's so easy in today's society. I remember being back in Vancouver where it's just daily grind, like you're working the night. In my case it was actually more like 7 to 3. So getting up every morning and dealing with dark skies and cold weather, and everything's wet sometimes, and just all the burdens that come along with that, and this, you just get into kind of like a state of survival just to get through the day, and there's no and you're looking for the little pleasures that you might find that you treat yourself during the day. But at some point, none of that's really going to make a difference, right? Today is the day you can make a difference. Today is a day that you can ask yourself, what is it going to take for it to change? What is it going to take for it to change? So I want to leave you with that in the back of your mind. And as we move forward into today for us, we're going to connect with one of the Mayan elders here, Joaquín Phoenix, and he's Balam Joaquín, Balam Joaquín, and he's a professor in music, Mayan music, and he's also a cultural activist where he's teaching young individuals to learn the Mayan way, and ultimately sovereignty, a way of living that they don't have to be dependent on a system that is constantly trying to be the parent. And putting us in a place of natural law where we're naturally involved with our environment, naturally finding the resources we need, opposed to being, for instance, in a civilized environment where everything's positive law. I love how I won't get into it, but I love how they spin the words positive and negative, So being in an environment where we take ourselves away from the dependency of a third party like a government or municipal service, which I think is really strong, and learning that in this environment can help us basically get find our sovereignty, find our feet without having to, and become strong in what we believe. Because when you're dependent on others, when we become dependent on the government, we lose the ability of our freedom of will, and we have to then prescribe to a certain structure that is set out for us. So working with Joaquín is going to open up opportunities for us to learn how to work with the land, as well as introduce other concepts, because they still use the milpa, they still use traditional agricultural systems. Yeah, this has been 3 weeks, and it's amazing, this corn, and it's already almost like a meter and a half higher, so quite incredible. But this is not natural for this environment. This is something that needs to be cultivated. It doesn't come from nature, yeah, and it goes to speak how long this process of external forces have been working on us as peoples to adopt external products and external services, right? So even going back to the Mayans, we see a trace of these people being subjected to have to use, now at work, they have to use the corn. They call them the three sisters: corn, maize, and squash. Or maize and corn, beans, and squash. And they do grow quite well, yeah, but they're not, as far as nutritional value, they're not very high. Okay, enough of that. I kind of went on a tangent. Sorry. So yesterday we had an interesting day. We had a lot of storm activity. We had a tropical storm come through here. It was about 2 hours long. I'll put a clip in there quickly. And so our power went out, and the power went out from about 1 o'clock all the way to evening about 8. So I couldn't do much on the computer, and yeah, this is the situation with working with these types of mediums. And so I have to do a lot of catch up today. I haven't been able to isolate the specific products we need for our solar system when we move to our new base camp, so I'm going to work on that today. And also we're going to be taking footage with Balam Joaquín. So it's pretty much that to wrap up for the day. The only other thing that happened, we were able to fix our power exchange or power adapter, and obviously we couldn't pump the pool out because you need to have power to pump the pool out, and we were able to get most of the water out. And I'll put a little clip in there as well of what it looks like right now, which is the worst case scenario, you could say. It's got basically algae everywhere, and it needs to be pressure washed off. So we'll see what happens. And one of the pumps stopped working. So yesterday was a brutal day for just anything that could go wrong would go wrong, and it did. And today we can kind of like reflect back on saying, hey, we're not going to take it anymore. We want these things to become standard. We want the standards to raise up. We want better actions to be taking place. So it is a day to kind of fill yourself up with courage and focus on the things that you feel are necessary in order for you to push back on those forces that keep on stealing your freedom. That's about it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm gonna put in one of the reasons why I'm doing this is to promote a course that really helped me get through this process of moving from Canada to Mexico, and that's a course by Richard Grove called Autonomy, and I put in the end of this is just a little blurb for that, and to raise some funds, and we need some funding as well for our Mayan bee project that we'd like to start. So if there's any way that this is appealing to you and you would like to get involved, there's also a link to join us as a pioneer, and get the details on that. So please stay tuned as I update this daily. I'm going to try to do it daily if we have electricity. So, all right. Thank you very much for your time. All the best. God bless. Welcome. You're a trooper. You've made it this far. You can do this. So this is a free introduction to the larger course. It gives you a moment to kind of get acquainted with everybody in the course, in the team there, and look at all the subjects you'll be covering. The most important thing is this provides support. It's something vital. Thank you.